So my name is Jacob. I'm going to be you guys' program activity leader today. If we could start by going down and introducing ourselves, starting with Marcy, Kate, and then Matt. So you'll say your name, your grade, and your favorite color.
My name is Marcy, and I would associate with the fourth grade, and my favorite color is blue.
Oh, my name is Kate. I am also in the fourth grade, and my favorite color is green.
My name is Madison. I am also in the fourth grade, and my favorite color is also green.
Okay, so today we're going to be playing the Wordle. And for this exercise, whenever we want to turn, we'll raise our hands. So first, if you've played the Wordle before and you know what it is, go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, so we're all familiar with it, but I'm still going to go over the rules just so we can have a synopsis of what we're doing. So the Wordle is going to be where we're going to be trying to guess a 5-letter word. And so we'll take turns guessing words. When we type the word in and click enter, it'll either turn green, yellow, or gray. If our letter stays gray, that means that that letter is not a part of our word. So we don't want to use that letter again. Because if it's gray, that letter's not existing in the word we're trying to spell. If it turns yellow, so let's say that I put in heart, and I'm not going to click enter, but let's say my E turned yellow. That means that the word that I'm trying to find, that we're trying to find, it does have an E in it, but the E is in the wrong place. So we need to move the E somewhere else. Now, if the letter R were to turn green, we know that that letter is correct, and that letter is in the right spot. So gray, we don't want to guess that letter again. It's not in our word. Yellow is it's the correct letter in the wrong spot. And our green is it's the correct letter in the correct spot. So we'll go ahead and y'all think of some good starting words you'd want to use. Think about what letters you want to use in your starting words and why you might want to use those letters. And we'll give you guys a second to think about that. So if you think you have a really, really good starting word, go ahead and raise your hand and you're going to tell us your word and tell us why you think it's a good word. Okay, Matt, what word do you want to start with?
I want to start with stare.
Stare.
S-T-A-R-E.
And why do you want to start with stare? Why do you think that's a good word to start with?
Because it has 2 vowels and it has 3 consonants people use a lot.
Okay, I think that's a good word. So we're going to start with stare. And once we see what we've got, we're going to learn from there what we're going to use after that. Okay, so what does that tell us about our word? Raise our hand if we have an answer for what this means. Kate.
That tells us none of them were right.
So we're not going to use these letters again. And since
Right.
we've got a good idea of where we're at, do you have a word you'd like to use next, Kate?
Let's use. Ooh, those were a lot of very common letters.
You see the reasoning?
Let's use blame.
And can you spell that for us?
Yes. Wait, no, I don't want to use that actually. I
And
just decided.
why don't we want to use that?
I didn't want to use that because I didn't want to waste a word using 2 vowels that we already know are not in there.
Smart.
I tried.
I try. So what word do you think you want to use instead?
Let's do flips. F-L-I-P-S.
Okay. Is everyone good with this word? Okay, so what does this word tell us so far that is useful information?
Well, the L and the I are both in the word and in the right spot. F and S are not in the word, and P is in the word but not in the right spot.
Perfect. When we're answering questions, let's raise our hand first so that we can give everyone else a chance to answer the question.
Yes, I'll do that.
And notice that we used S in our first word, and it ended up not being correct in the second word as well because it wasn't right in the first word. But Kate gave us a really good word because now we've got two difficult letters in the correct spot. So, Marcy, since you haven't given us a word yet, what do we need to have in this word? Where does it need to be? And what word do you think you'd like to use?
Yeah, I was thinking, but it doesn't have a P and it has an E, so I don't think that's a good word.
You cut out there for a second. Can you say that again for us, Marcy?
Well, I wanted to use the word glide, but
Mhm.
then I realized there's not a P in it and there's an E in it and we don't need an E. So I'm trying to think of a good word that has all three of those letters, but the P has to be someplace else.
Yes, it does. It looks like it's going to be a tricky one.
I'm kind of stuck.
Okay, so let's think about how words sound. And I don't know what the correct answer is, so I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that our word may not end in
Okay.
P.
I think so.
Because not many words end in P. So I'm thinking we might start with a P. Yes, Marcy.
I was thinking that too, because PL go together, PLI, but I don't know what word to make after that.
Okay, does anyone else? So we've got PLI. Marcy thinks it starts with a P. Does anyone want to raise their hand and let us know what they think might be the last two letters?
I didn't even college. Oh, yeah, I guess we would go on. That's not good. Yeah.
Mm,
Or what?
And if we're stuck and we want to reuse a letter we've already used just to help us figure out, like we've already used an E, but if you can think of a word that starts with a PLI and ends in an E, we can figure out if the P goes in the right spot because we've still got four guesses left. So we might not get it on this turn, but we could use a letter we've already used to get some useful information.
is plied a word?
I don't know. Let's see.
Wait, ed.
Okay.
It is a word.
Interesting. So what does that tell us?
That P is the last letter of the word.
Thank you, Kate. Go ahead and give us your opinion.
I was just gonna say one, she didn't raise her hand. And two,
We started the trend.
dude, that tells us that the P must be the last letter in there.
You're right. So we're gonna have to get creative with this. We think that something that I like to do myself when I'm doing the Wordle, and I'm a big visual person, and if you're a visual person too, this might help. If I know where one of the letters goes, I like to put X's so that I can see the X's represent the letters that I don't have, but now I can really visually look at this and see, okay, it's something L-I something P. So I'm going to leave this on the screen for us, and we're going to take a look at it for a while and see what we think might be a really good guess after this. Marcy. Marcy. Marcy, can you hear me?
I couldn't hear you and I thought I had a word, but it doesn't work. I was going to say click, but click ends in K, not P.
Can anyone think of a word that ends in P that has the L and the I in the middle of it? So words that end in P, can we think of the sound of words that end in P, what sound they might make? What either vowel or consonant we might have next to that P?
Imp.
Matt.
Imp.
Okay, so do we think that it ends in MIP or LIMP? Does that make sense, Marcy?
Yeah, that's the only vowel that makes sense, and an O doesn't really make sense, and a U doesn't really make sense.
Okay,
so I agree with Madison.
what words do we know that start with one of the letters we have left and end in L-I-M-P? Kate.
I don't know if this is an actual word, but the only thing I can think of is blimp.
Okay, is everyone okay with trying blimp since we think it ends in MP?
I second blimp.
Look at there, we got it.
Oh,
So the Wordle is a super fun game that I like to play. They change it there's a new one every day. And it's something you can either play on your phone or tablet if you have one. I'm playing one on my computer screen. You can play it by yourself and you can play it with a group. And sometimes playing with a group is really fun because if you get stuck on some of those words, you have someone that can help you out. And it's just a good word to get us more familiar with some words we might not know as well. And it also gets us thinking about how we spell and how to move and strategize these letters. But that's going to be all for our Wordle activity. Thank you guys all for participating, and I hope you have a great day.